Have you ever felt that there's a love waiting in some corner of the universe just for you? A love that your soul recognizes even before your eyes see it. An encounter so destined in the heavens that when it happens, something within you awakens as if it had been waiting since before your first breath in this world. It's not an illusion. It's not romantic fantasy. It's not a creation of your tired mind. It's a spiritual memory. It's a calling. And the love story I'm going to tell you today will shock the entire world. Chosen One. Because it reveals exactly why you faced so much difficulty finding, keeping, and protecting true love in your life. There's a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. A game that involves your heart, your lineage, your purpose, and the role you were designated to fulfill in this spiritual transition that has already begun. Think for a moment. What if everything you've always felt, those relationships that ended without logical explanation, those intense connections that vanished out of nowhere, that strange feeling that something is sabotaging love every time it draws near, were precisely proof that you are not an observer of this story, but a central piece of it? The story you're about to hear was kept hidden for centuries, not because no one tried to tell it, but because those who tried were silenced, persecuted, ridiculed. Some paid with their own peace for revealing too much. But this truth survived, because true stories don't die, they just wait for the right moment to reach the right ears. And your moment is now. There is a union of souls that has traversed ages, that has lived and loved in other dimensions, in other times, under other names. And when they finally met in this material reality, they unleashed such an intense disturbance in the invisible realms that forces no one dares to name moved to separate them. This is the story, and it is yours too. That's why I've prepared the powerful digital book for you, the handbook for those chosen by God to protect the family. This book is not just reading material. It is a map that reveals who is playing against your love, against your union, against the peace of your home, and against the offspring you were called to generate. A map that exposes the rules you were never told about how spiritual envy, ancient pacts inherited from the generations before you, and forces operating in the shadows attack precisely those who were destined to live a blessed love story. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to know that when genuine love is repeatedly sabotaged in your life, it's not bad luck, it's not coincidence, it's not karma, it's direct interference, it's silent warfare. And there is a revealed path, chosen one, to shield your union and your family from this invisible war. The link is in the first pinned comment at the top, but I must warn you honestly, this kind of content rarely remains available for long. What's in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because a truly united family of chosen ones is one of the most feared forces by those who operate in darkness. There have already been concrete attempts to silence this knowledge. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. Chosen One. Because you didn't stumble upon this video by accident. Download it now and comment below. I'm the chosen one and I'm going to download the ebook. This comment is a seal, an act of faith, a declaration that echoes in dimensions your eyes cannot yet see. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the oppression that has attacked your love life for too long. Come back with me to the beginning of this story. There's an ancient principle written on scrolls most people have never read and never will that says this: when two souls were created to meet, they carry an invisible thread between them that crosses any distance, any time, any barrier. This thread cannot be cut by human hands, but it can be blocked, it can be poisoned, it can be confused. And that's exactly what happens to you. The story that will shock the world begins with a simple, devastating realization. Humanity's great loves, those recorded by history and those mystics secretly study, all followed the same pattern. An impossible meeting, a connection no one could explain, a barrage of attacks from all sides, and a final choice between succumbing to separation or fighting for something no one understood. And this is where most fail, the chosen one. Not because the love wasn't true, but because no one taught them the rules of the battle being fought in silence. That's precisely why I've prepared the powerful digital book for you. the manual for God's chosen to protect the family. And mind you, this book is no ordinary relationship book. It's the spiritual map that exposes every single weapon used against the love of the chosen. It shows how to recognize when a union is being attacked by forces that don't come from the couple, but from outside. It reveals the clear signs that spiritual interference is sabotaging your love before it can take root. It teaches how to shield your home against the silent invasions that enter through envy, through charged glances, through words that seem innocent but carry weight. This book was written for those who have already understood that loving as the chosen is different, that protecting the family as the chosen is different, and that needing a manual is not weakness, but the wisdom of someone who has already suffered too much loss trying to figure out the rules alone. The link is pinned in the first comment at the top. And I need to repeat clearly, this content directly challenges the narratives that say love is just a feeling and family is just coexistence. It is not. There is an invisible dimension operating in every relationship, and those who ignore it lose everything without understanding why. There have already been attempts to bring this material down. Don't wait. Download now and comment below, "I'm the chosen one and I'm gonna download the ebook." This comment is a declaration of war against everything that has tried to destroy your love until today. And now that you've marked your position, the next truth I'm going to reveal to you is the one that hurts the most and liberates the most. There is a truth that needs to enter your heart right now. When you are the chosen one, your love is not just your affair. It's a cosmic affair. It's a lineage affair. It's an affair that affects what will be born from your union, what will sprout from your offspring, what will be established in your home for generations to come. And because of this, when your love flourishes, opposing forces work triple time, not because they hate you specifically, but because they hate what your union is capable of generating. Pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is one of the most important layers of revelation. Have you ever noticed that there are couples who seem to live an easy life? They meet, get together, marry, have children, grow old together, and nothing too strange ever happens in between. And at the same time, you look at your own story and see a sequence of incomprehensible breakups, sabotages that appeared out of nowhere, intrigues that arose from people who weren't even involved in your relationship. This is not a lack of luck. This is a marker. There is an invisible principle that states, the more powerful the spiritual destiny of a union, the greater the resistance it faces. Ordinary unions do not interest the enemy. They go unnoticed. But the unions of the chosen ones, those indeed attract legions. And this is where the part of the story that will shock you comes in. There is an ancient account that speaks of a specific couple whose names were intentionally erased from official records, who were separated 7 times in the same existence. 7 times. And in each separation, different forces acted. In one, it was family. In another, it was illness. In another, it was money. In another, it was a third person. In another, it was their own pride. And in all these separations, chosen one, an identical pattern repeated itself. A soul would approach. The two would begin to recognize each other. Something would begin to flourish, and then, almost magnetically, a force would push them away. Until one day, this couple discovered the key. Not through their own strength, not through their own intelligence, but through a revelation. And it is this same key that needs to reach you now. The key begins with a realization. The love of the chosen ones is not attacked for what it is, but for what it generates. A union of the chosen ones generates a house of prayer. A house of prayer generates children of purpose. Children of purpose generate a lineage that changes a city, a country, a nation. And the enemy sees this even before the first kiss. He sees it from the moment the two souls were marked for each other in the invisible world. And that is why he begins to attack early, very early. He attacks in childhood, when you don't even dream of love yet. He plants fears in you that are not yours, wounds you don't even know where they came from, patterns of rejection that you repeat without understanding why. And when you grow up and finally approach true love, these old patterns scream louder than your soul, and you run away, or you sabotage, or you allow them to sabotage. And that's precisely why I've prepared the powerful digital book for you, the manual for those chosen by God to protect the family. because this book is the only resource that brings together, in one place, the spiritual tools to break those ancient patterns that have sabotaged the love of the chosen ones for generations. It teaches you how to identify the spiritual programming that was planted in you since childhood, and how to cut it at the root. It reveals how to recognize the difference between a relationship that didn't work out due to real incompatibility and a relationship that was destroyed by spiritual interference. It shows the exact steps to shield a new union before it is attacked. And it teaches, with great clarity, the protection practices that strong families silently used, without telling anyone, to endure centuries with an intact lineage. This book is for those who have understood that the love story that shocks the world is not a story to admire from afar. It's an invitation to live your own. The link remains pinned in the first comment at the top. And I need to remind you again, this content challenges systems that prefer the chosen ones to remain lost, confused, tired, accepting mediocre love. There has already been pressure to take this material down. There have already been bothered people trying to discredit it. It's not nonsense. It's the truth your soul asked for even before this video appeared. Download it now and comment below, "I'm the chosen one, and I'm going to download the ebook." This act is the turning of the page in your spiritual story. And now that you've made this decision, there are two final layers to this revelation that I need to tell you, because without them, everything said before remains incomplete. You were taught from childhood to believe that love is about finding the right person. But that's only a partial truth. The complete truth is that the love of the chosen ones is about sustaining a union in the face of forces working to destroy it. Finding is easy. Sustaining is war. And this war has rules. Rules that no one taught you. The first rule is the most painful. You cannot share your union with those who were not called to preserve it. This means there are conversations that should not leave your home. There are intimate details that cannot become topics of conversation at a bar, in a group of friends, or with extended family. Because every word about your union that leaves the wrong person's mouth opens a spiritual door that will be difficult to close later. The second rule is what separates those who prosper from those who sink. Spiritual identity determines spiritual resilience. A couple that knows who they are resolves conflicts that other couples can't even see. A couple that doesn't know who they are turns a small argument into a war that lasts for weeks. And the third rule, this is the one that turns the game around. When a couple of the chosen ones publicly recognize each other as sacred, the spiritual siege is broken. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops. It just needs to be recognized in the hearts of both. That couple I told you about, the one that was separated 7 times, that was the key they discovered. There is an ancient practice that was taught in secret within families that have endured for centuries with an intact lineage. Before any important decision in their life together, the couple would stop, look at each other, and reaffirm 3 things. First, we are chosen. Second, this union is sacred. Third, nothing from the outside has authority over what God has joined. These 3 phrases functioned as a seal that kept the home in spiritual order even when the world outside was in chaos. What happened to this practice? It was forgotten. It was ridiculed. It was replaced by empty advice, superficial psychologies, communication techniques that don't touch the root of the issue. Because the root of the issue was never communication. The root was always spiritual identity. And here's the second part of the shock of this story. That couple, after applying this recognition for a few years, lived to see something that almost no one else does. They saw their own descendants prosper in areas that none of their ancestors had ever reached. Children with sharp spiritual discernment, grandchildren with gifts that emerged on their own, effortlessly. A lineage that established itself as a spiritual pillar in that family for generations to come. All because 2 human beings at a certain point in their lives chose to stop acting like ordinary people and started behaving like the chosen ones. And it is here, chosen one, that I need you to understand the true scope of what is at stake in your life. You are not just fighting for your personal happiness. You are fighting for an entire lineage yet to be born. You are fighting for a collective purpose that God wrote in your name even before the first sign of life in your body. You are fighting for a lineage that needs to be restored, shielded, protected. And when you fight with your partner over trivial matters, when you let external influences invade your home, when you passively accept outsiders commenting, opining, and sowing discord within your relationship, you are surrendering territory that God entrusted to you. And the enemy takes that territory and uses it against you, against your children, against what is yet to come. This is not to scare you. This is to wake you up. And the good news, the wonderful news, is that everything that was surrendered can be recovered. Every door that was opened can be closed. Every silent pact that was made can be broken. Every influence that has settled in can be removed. And there is a concrete, ordered, revealed path to do exactly that. A path that doesn't depend on waiting for a miracle. A path that depends on you taking the authority that has always been yours. The final part of this love story that will shock the world is the most unknown. After that couple learned to recognize each other as chosen ones, after they applied the seals, after they shielded their family, something happened that most are not prepared to hear. They discovered that their love was not just for the two of them. It was not just for their children. It was not just for the family. It was a sign for other people around them. A sign for other chosen ones who were still lost, still suffering, still believing that true love was impossible. And when that couple became spiritually stable, they began to see something curious. People started approaching them, asking for advice, asking for direction, asking for prayer. Without them announcing themselves as wise, without them positioning themselves as a reference, people simply felt it. They felt that union was different. They felt that home had something. And it is here, chosen one, that you need to understand something profound. When you build a blessed union, you become a reference for other chosen ones who are still in the dark. Your love life ceases to be just yours and becomes a beacon. And it is because of this beacon that the enemy works so hard to prevent your union from being established. He is not just attacking you. He is attacking all the people who would be set free when they saw your victory. Every time a couple of chosen ones becomes firm, dozens, hundreds, sometimes thousands of other souls are indirectly impacted. They see, they are inspired, they believe again. And the enemy loses access to those souls as well. Therefore, your love victory is not private. It is collective. It is historic. It is generational. And there is something even deeper that I need to tell you before I close. This whole story I told you today, this couple who went through 7 separations, who discovered the key, who applied the seals, who shielded their family, who became a beacon for others, this couple is not unique. They are an archetype. They represent every couple of chosen ones who has ever come into the world, who is in the world, and who will still come. And by hearing this story today, you are not just hearing the past. You are being introduced to your own possible future. Because if that couple succeeded, you can too. If that home was restored, yours can be too. If that lineage prospered, yours can also prosper. Spiritual laws do not change with time. They continue to work in exactly the same way for those who learn to operate them. There is one thing most people will never do, the chosen one. They'll watch this video, feel something stir within them, think about it for a few minutes, and then return to their distractions. They'll miss the moment. And the moment is a window. Spiritual windows open at certain times in life and then close. Those who enter through the window when it's open access layers of revelation that were hidden. Those who hesitate, who postpone, who wait for the right time, they remain outside. And then they wonder why life doesn't change. You have one of these windows wide open before you today. Don't waste it. Don't treat it as just another video among thousands. Treat it as what it truly is, an appointed meeting between what you already know deep in your soul and what your mind was still trying to resist. It is for all these reasons, the chosen one, that I wrote this powerful digital book for you, the manual for those chosen by God to protect the family. This book is the meeting between the love story that will shock the world and your own story. It's the map that old couple didn't have and had to discover the hard way. It's the key that will save you from 7 unnecessary separations. It's the guide that will teach you, step by step, how to recognize true love when it arrives, how to sustain it when opposing forces begin to attack, how to shield your home against spiritual invasions, how to pray for the children who have already come and for those yet to come, how to identify generational patterns and how to break them before they take hold again. This book brings together what no one has dared to gather in a single material, and it was made for those who have already awakened enough to understand that the love of the chosen is not like ordinary love, that the family of the chosen is not like any family, that the lineage of the chosen does not follow the rules the world tries to impose. The link is in the first pinned comment at the top. It's there for a reason. It's there waiting for you to make this decision. But I need to be transparent with you once more. This type of material directly challenges narratives that many sectors have an interest in preserving. There have already been concrete attempts to silence this voice, to take this content down, to erase the evidence of these truths. I can't guarantee how long this link will remain available. What I can tell you with all certainty is that you didn't arrive at this video by chance. You were guided. And the guidance doesn't end with listening. The guidance ends with acting. Download now The Chosen One, download, and then come back and comment with the exact words, "I'm the chosen one and I'm going to download the ebook." This comment is your seal, it's your mark, it's your public declaration that you will no longer live like ordinary people, that you will no longer accept your love being sabotaged, that you will no longer allow your family to be an easy target, that you will no longer leave your offspring exposed to anything. From the moment you make this act of faith, a reorganization begins. Not because the book is magical, but because your recognition is, and the God who called you as chosen honors those who act in faith. He always has, he always will. The love story that shocks the world doesn't end with that old couple. It continues in you. And the next chapter, The Chosen One, is written by you. With the pen, God returned to you the exact moment you recognized who you are. May the peace of the Most High be established in your home. May true love manifest in your life. May your offspring prosper for generations. And may this message be remembered by you every time doubt tries to return. You are chosen. You are sacred. Your love has an eternal purpose. And the next chapter of this story begins the exact moment you close this video and click on the first pinned comment at the top, because everything that was sealed here today now needs your action to manifest. The heavens moved to meet you. Now it's your turn to move towards what has always been yours by right.